try to do a video maybe once a month. No promises yet. So yeah, that didn't quite work out as I would have hoped. Had a lot of life changes last year, including this guy, our newest addition to our family. Meet Apollo. Oh, look, that's YouTube. So like I was saying, lots of life changes. I got a job offer with a great company that I said yes to. Also helped my wife, my beautiful wife, launch her new startup called Palatable. Check out palatable.com. That's my short little plug. It's a food technology startup. My wife is a great chef, for those of you that don't know, and she does meal deliveries here in the wonderful city of Los Angeles. So anyways, I am finally back today. We are here to talk about the new CARTIER Santos, which I have owned for about a few months now. We're going to do a quick unboxing and talk about it some more. So let's jump right in. What do you say, Apollo? Shall we jump right in? Yes? Yes? Yeah? Alright. Let's go. Here's the outer box that the Santos arrives in classic Cartier red, and then opening that up reveals the inner box, and I think this is leather, and then there is the instruction manual here, as you can see, and then opening up the box reveals the watch itself, as you can tell. Now we'll put that aside and then take out the inner tray. Put that here. And then the Santos does come with some accessories, including this leather strap here. So I'll try to take that out. So leather strap. And then there's a clasp that goes along with the strap here. And then a little tool. And then I have some links. I had already sized the watch, so I have about 3 extra links here. And then I believe there's another little booklet here. Just some, I guess, like a quick start guide, if you will. Now for the Santos itself, I've had this since late January of this year. This is the new Santos de Cartier in large with the blue dial. This new collection was just launched not so long ago in 2018, with the blue version that you see before us just announced and launched last year. The dimensions of the case are 39.8 millimeters in width, and the lug to lug is 47.5 millimeters. The case thickness, let me flip this around, the case thickness is very thin, just at 9 millimeters, and it is amongst the thinnest of my watches. It is obviously a square-shaped case, and I would say that it wears very similarly to, I would say, about a 42 or a 43 millimeter watch. So for size comparison, here it is against my 42 millimeter Seamaster. Right, so here it is against my 42 millimeter Seamaster. As you can tell, it's similar in terms of size. Now on the front of it, it does have a polished bezel with screw accents, as you can tell right here. And the screws, I would say, they're not all uniform, which I actually like. They're just kind of at random positions, which I prefer. The lugs and the crown guards flow away from the case, or flow out of the case in a very organic, almost natural way. And it's really cool. And there's a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces here. And there's just a lot of different lines and angles to kind of look at and get lost in my opinion. From the side profile here, you could tell that the case itself has a very slight curvature to it, and it is very comfortable on the wrist. The crown itself, see if I can do a close-up, is adorned with Cartier's blue sapphire, which is a signature design element from Cartier, and I think it's super cool. And then finally on the case back, put that down for a second. On the case back, see here. On the case back, it is a solid case back, as you can see here. Now moving on to the bracelet, it is a brushed solid stainless steel bracelet with screw accents. And the clasp itself is a butterfly type clasp. There's really some cool innovation with the bracelet. The lugs have a quick removal mechanism, which I'm gonna attempt to show now. Right, so let me see if I can get a good shot here. So this is probably the best I could do here. So you see this button here, that's kind of like dark gray. You just kind of press it with your fingernail and move up, and there you go. It comes right off, super easy. Very much like how you would do it with the Apple Watch, if you're at all familiar with how that works. And then to put it back on, you just do the reverse. I'm kind of looking at this through the camera here, so it's a little bit harder, and there you go, very easy. And then to show the bracelet, so the bracelet has a quick removal system as well for each of the links. So I'm going to use the 3 links that I've had. Okay, and the bracelet links itself also feature a quick removal system, and it is really easy to use. And you see there's a little button right here, and you can even use your you can just simply use a toothpick or even your own fingernails, and you just push it in and it pops right off. And then just linking that out, and there it is. 2 links just come right off, and then to push it back in, you just do the inverse. I'll just use this little tool that comes with it. Let's get the camera to refocus. There you go. And we'll just use this one right here. I'm kind of doing this, looking at this through the camera, so it's a little bit harder. But there you go. Super easy to do. All right, and now on to the dial itself. And in my opinion, this is absolutely the best part of this awesome watch. This one has the blue dial, but it's more of a black/blue sunburst gradient dial with applied polish markers and polished hands. I have to admit that, as you could tell here, visibility, depending on lighting, it can be an issue, a little bit of an issue, but I think the hands are wide enough and big enough with lume in them, so it really isn't too bad. But I would admit that in terms of visibility in low light, where the indexes can't be seen, it is a little bit of an issue. Now looking at this at various different angles, you could really see the blue gradient sunburst start to pop, as you can see here. And I'll kind of put it in the direction of my lighting rig here, so you can kind of see that. And keep in mind, this is inside my house, in the shade here, not in direct sunlight. So let me just show you guys how it looks like in different lighting conditions, so you can kind of get a good idea of how it will look like under real circumstances. So here it is here. I'm still inside, but right now the sun is to my back, and you can really tell here that the blue dial is really coming out nicely. Alright, so here we go. This is in my balcony under direct sunlight, midday sun. Pretty hot day out here today, here in LA. You can see here, it does reflect quite a bit of light from the polished bezel and the sapphire glass here. So it does reflect a bit. You know, you can kind of see here that visibility is a little bit of an issue. You can kind of see that the markers are difficult to see, but the hands do come out, and you can still, you know, through some functionality, still tell the time here, which is about 3 minutes past noon right now. Inside, the Santos is powered by Cartier's in-house movement, the 1847MC, good for about 42 hours of power reserve. It is plainly decorated, and accuracy is really good. Mine is running at about +1 second per day. And here's the Santos on the wrist. My wrist is 6.75 inches, and as you could probably tell, it does wear like a larger watch. I personally would have preferred the medium-sized version, and I believe that one is sized at about 35 millimeters in width and 42 millimeters lug to lug. I have tried on the medium version at the boutique, but sadly Cartier does not offer the blue dial in the medium size, at least not right now. It does have a very masculine look, and all of the various shapes and angles are quite interesting to look at. Despite all of the various angles and lines and shapes, it is quite comfortable to wear, as I already mentioned. There is also some good amount of weight to this due to this being a full stainless steel watch in its shape. So in fact, let's make a scale magically appear and weigh it. And through the power of editing, I have made the scale appear before us. Let's put this bad boy down here. And it is 135 grams with, what was it, 3 links out. Okay, now for some negatives. And there isn't that many negatives, but there's a few. And I think you guys already caught some. So there is a lot of reflection coming out from the watch, specifically all the various polished surfaces like the applied markers, the bezel, and the glass itself. And from the bezel, you could tell that this is also very much a scratch magnet. I've had this watch for about 3-4 months now, since late January, and there is already some amount of scratches on it. And I wear this, you know, I haven't worn this consistently every single day, but I've worn this on, you know, occasionally in rotation with some of my other watches, and the bezel is very much a scratch magnet, and visibility is so-so, you know, with the dark dial and the polished surfaces. Sometimes, you know, depending on the lighting, the polished markers do tend to disappear into the dial a little bit. Finally, in conclusion, this is a fabulous modernization of a classic iconic watch. I've always been interested in the Santos, really ever since I seen my wife's grandfather wear one, and he had a vintage one. I believe maybe it was like maybe 20 something years old, but it's just a very classic watch. The original Santos itself was the first purpose-built wristwatch to be ever made, and this newest version I think is a modern evolution of that, in keeping with its design spirit, very much intact, while adding several new bells and whistles along the way. Alright, so we're gonna wrap up the video right here. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, and I hope you did, please don't hesitate to leave a like, ask a question or comment, and subscribe. I really hope that you guys are staying safe and healthy during these very uncertain times. I really believe that there will be brighter and better times ahead of us. So please stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, maybe in a month or so. So cheers.